Hello there everyone, and welcome to a new review on the channel. And today we're looking at a product that I wanted to review months ago, and that is the Extractor V2 by ALAKAZAM Magic. And unfortunately, a few months ago when I wanted to review this, it was unavailable. It was literally, you could not purchase this anywhere. So I was like, why make a review of a product that is thoroughly unavailable and that could, like, my viewers cannot buy? So I decided to not review it. But as of late, because of Blackpool and because of ALAKAZAM's recent newsletters, they are re-releasing the Extractor. So it's going to be available on the market again. And then I'm like, okay, this is the perfect time to review this absolute bombshell of a product that I truly love. So this is my review of the Extractor. Let's roll the intro and get straight into it. Perfect. So decide to stick around, which means you want to learn more about the Extractor. So what is the Extractor? The Extractor is essentially a utility device that will allow you to peek or get hold of cards in a moment's notice. So what I mean by this is, I think, best shown through a quick performance of this. Again, I don't have a spectator, so some of the movements are not going to be as good or as motivated as they usually are, but I still think you're going to get a good idea of what the Extractor is. So first you could have the deck shuffled by your spectator if you so want, and then they can truthfully choose any card. So normally now they would be looking at the card, but since I don't have anyone here with me, I'm gonna have to show the card for you. So you're gonna show the card to the spectator. You could even give them a Sharpie or anything to sign the card if they so want. But yeah, so that is essentially the card. It's okay even if I see it. There's no much point in that in this performance. But then you say that you just want them to take the card and place it somewhere in the deck wherever they want, in the middle. So they're going to do that just as so. They're going to place the card, you're going to close everything together, and you show that everything is as it should be. And of course, now in this position, I'm able to essentially know what the card is, but I'm also able to fully steal the card in a flash and place this if I wanted inside my pocket, in a wallet, underneath the box, wherever I wanted. I could have gone hold of your card. So that is essentially what the Extractor allows you to do. Knowing now what the Extractor is, let's talk about where you buy this, how much does it cost, and what do you get. So you can buy this from ALAKAZAM. It's not on sale yet, it's gonna be soon, but it will also probably be, I'm not sure if they're gonna export it back as they used to back in the day to other shops like Penguin, Vanishing, and other stores. But for the moment, I'm sure that it's gonna come back in stock at ALAKAZAM soon. It's gonna set you back 80 US dollars, which is around 100 something Canadian. And what you get with your purchase is this box. Inside of this box, you're gonna get an instructional video, which links you to a very long and comprehensive video between Bromley, Peter Nardi, and Mark Spellman. They're going to go over everything that you need to know. They're going to go over a ton of routines, and also the routine that everyone wants to know with the Extractor, which is the signed card to sealed deck of cards. They're going to explain to you how to achieve that and how to make that and how to have that work with you as well. They're going to explain everything in the tutorial, albeit the tutorial is a bit old. So I'm guessing in maybe the new version, they filmed a new tutorial, which is probably going to be included. But with this version, the tutorial is a bit old, but it's still very good and explains everything that you need to get. And then you also get your Extractor unit. So this is essentially your Extractor unit. I don't want to flash it too much, but as you can see, it looks pretty much like a normal deck of cards. It's the exact same size. It functions as it should. And the most beautiful thing about the Extractor is this part, is that the spectator can fully take their card and they insert it. And I tell you, even as a magician, this feels the most fair. It fully feels like you're placing a card in a deck. It is absolutely incredible. Like, this is the type of things that James Bond would have if he were a card magician. It is absolutely crazy the way that this works and the engineering that went behind this. Like, to be honest, even knowing how it works, it still fools me that it works, because they can place it towards the top, they can place it towards the bottom, they can also place it in the middle, and it will still work. It's honestly baffling how this works and the fact that it works, it's incredible. And also one thing to mention before we get into it is that this will not break on you. So except if you sit on it or you punch it or you drop and you step on it, it will not break. The only thing that will need replacing is the tuck box because it's just a normal card box. So all you're gonna need to do is when you need to replace it, it's gonna take you maybe 3 minutes to just replace the card box, which also means you can place this in other decks. If you don't want it to be in Red Bicycle, you can place it in your Madison Rounders, you can place it in your own deck of cards, you can place it in a Bees deck, you can place it wherever you want, as long as, of course, the cards are white at the sides, because if, of course, the deck is black and then they insert it in a white deck, in a box, then that's gonna be a bit weird. But as long as the sides of the cards are white, you are gonna be able to perform this without any problems. So that is covering what you get with your purchase. And you also get this little box to carry around your extractor in. Let me just make sure the instructional code is on the other side. But you also get this, and this is how I carry my extractor with me. I just place it inside of this box and I carry it around with me at gigs and everywhere I go because I do perform this everywhere. So that is what you get. So considering now that you know what the extractor is, how difficult it is to perform. Well, the actual unit does most of the work for you. It does pretty much everything, but there is still a pre-utility usage and a post-utility usage. And what I mean by this is that before you use the extractor, you're gonna need to do something with the deck that the spectator was handling and whatnot while they're looking at the card. I think that was pretty much self-explanatory from the performance. And for anyone that kind of knows how these type of things works, you're gonna need to do a bit of magic with this deck. And then once the extractor is in position, depending on the routine that you do, there's gonna be varied levels of skill that you need to use. For example, if you just want to peek the card, so if you just want to have the card returned and you show them that you're going to take this and place it in your pocket, I've already done the peek. However, if you want to place the card into the wallet or into an envelope or anything else, you're going to need, of course, to be able to palm a card. And if you want to do the sealed deck to envelope, etc., you're going to need to have a bit of a preparation with you, be able to palm a card, be able to switch things. It's a bit more complicated, but still achievable. It's not very hard. So as long as you can do some good misdirection and palm a card, you should be able to perform everything that the extractor has to offer. Moving on now to practicality. So how practical is this effect? Well, all you need to carry around with you is the utility and a deck of cards. So yes, you're gonna have to carry around these two things, but these go in your pocket and you could have this and literally perform for the entire night and fool people to the moon and back with this. So all you need is this. And of course, if you want to use an envelope, a wallet, a sealed deck, you're going to have to carry around your other gizmos with you. But in essence, you just need a deck of cards that corresponds to the tuck box of your extractor. Regarding repeatability, can be repeated non-stop. Reset, there is no reset for the extractor, it's always reset. Regarding angles, I would say the angles are 180 for the extractor. You could maybe for the peak of the card do a 360 if you do it in a very offbeat, but I think if you want to do the palm and something more complicated, you're going to need access to your back pocket, so it's more of a 180 type of thing. Or if you do it inside of your jacket, you could maybe find 360 angles, but I think just to be safe, 180 or maybe a 270. And regarding what else? Regarding table, you do not need a table in order to perform this effect. Having considered all of that, where do you perform the extractor? And this is going to be super simple and super to the point, anywhere. Anywhere you perform with cards, you can perform with the extractor, as long, of course, as you have spectators. So you wouldn't perform something with the extractor on Zoom, for example, because, well, you could have a card selected and still do it on Zoom, but even then, I feel it's better doing it in person, but you can still do it on Zoom as well if you want. So pretty much anywhere you perform with cards, the extractor can be used. Considering everything that I've just said, what are the positives and negatives of this? Well, the negatives, honestly, there's none. I really do not find any negatives with this. I think the only possible negative is that you're going to have to replace the card box ever so often, but I don't think that's much of an issue. It takes 2-3 minutes at home, and that's it. Yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I can say. Regarding the positives, one, it is extremely well built. It's a James Bond type device. It's gonna fool even you when it works. The depth of effects you can do with this are great. The workings of it is easy, it's practical, and it can be done pretty much anywhere. It's a phenomenal product. So, having said all of this, would I recommend the Extractor, and what do I give it out of 10? Would I recommend it? And my answer is yes. I think if you do card magic, do yourself a favor, buy an Extractor. You will find a use for this utility, I can guarantee you. So I fully recommend it. And what do I rate it out of 10? I'm rating the Extractor V2 a 10 on 10. I think it's a must-have for anyone that uses cards. It is absolutely great, and I fully recommend it. And that's all I have to say about it. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If not, I'll see you all in my next review. Have a great one.